Good afternoon. Today we're going to explain to you the exportation plan of whey powder sacks for the company Sistemas Lacteos Automatizados. This team is conformed by Vanessa Nava, Guadalupe Parra, Daisy Rodriguez, Carlos Rodriguez, Guillermo Vargas, and Cristian Rodriguez. Exportation. We all know that all companies look forward to export their products. So here, Sistemas Lacteos is looking forward to the exportation since they have been well established here in Durango and in the national territory. They are seeking to improve the use and increase of production in the company, this so that they can help establish themselves good in the market and generating a better profit. Product selection. We know that for the product selection, we need to choose the product that generates the more profit for the company, meaning that this is the star product. But we need to keep in mind these three main points in order to choose the best product. We need to select the product that generates the greater profit. We need to investigate the demand of the product outside our country, and this product needs to come with the necessary regulations and international norms so that it can enter perfectly in a outside country. The market selection. For the market selection, it is good and important that the country consumes our product and that Mexico has a good relationship with that country. So for the issues of the country, we investigated in the trade map website the importers that consume our product, and we see here that China is the number one importer for this product, and Netherlands is the second one. So finally, we chose Netherlands since Mexico comes with a free trade agreement with the European Union, and this makes a really good relationship with Netherlands and the best option for the company.
Packaging. Product packaging serves to protect the product inside. Packaging must keep the product safe during shipment between the manufacturing facility and the retailer, and also it must prevent the product from getting damaged while it sits on the shelf. Therefore, product packaging must be sturdy and reliable. Consumers expect their product to function exactly as intended. A dependable product packaging is the best way to ensure that. Since our product is whey powder, which is a manufactured nutritional supplement and food additive, we consider that the best option for our packaging would be to utilize paper sacks. The paper sacks can hold up to 25 kilograms each of the whey powder. The dimensions of the whey powder sacks are 45.5 centimeters times 92 centimeters times 10.3 centimeters. Since the expiration date time for the powder is very long, this is considered a non-perishable product.
Okay, let's move on to the Icoterm that in accordance with imported wishes that is fast, free alongside ship. Some of the seller's obligations are deliver merchandise in the according point in the previous contract that is in Rotterdam, Netherlands. Use the usual packaging because the buyer didn't give any instruction about it. Pay the necessary verification that in this case doesn't apply. Assume risk until merchandise is unloaded on finance port. Help and document a certificate of origin because of our product. Contract main transportation, that is maritime. Provide receipt document, obtain export license, and obtain a transferable insurance policy just to avoid any problem in the future. The buyer's obligation are take over our merchandise and pay the total price of 59,800 pesos. Assume risk from final port to final destination on all the expenses. Obtain license as imported and pay import duties. Pay extra expenses that could be storage and overtime for loading. Pay for document expenses, give instruction of shipping and collection, and hire secondary transportation that will be a truck to load and transport the merchandise to the final destination.
Well, then moving on with the next course, which is sufficient freight operations, we will see the queuing of the cargo. There are sacks of whey powder with a weight of 25 kilograms, and we will need the dimensions of the sacks in the container, the total weight that the container can stand, and the amount of merchandise that we will be transporting. These are the dimensions for the container and the sacks. The maximum weight of the container, which is 12 tons, and the total of merchandise, which is 1,300 sacks, equivalent to 32.5 tons. Well, then, determination of the available cargo capacity. First, we have to determine the volume of that the container can hold. We're gonna do it as a table, which is shown in the right. This table represents an easy way to do it, and we have to put the height, the length, and the width of the container, and then on one side, we're gonna put the dimensions, the respective dimensions of the product, which is the height, length, and width of the product. Then we're going to divide the dimensions of the container by the dimensions of the product. We're gonna have the amount, which is marked with the red arrow, and then it is going to be rounded downwards, which is this result, 5, 2, and 59. And these three results are going to be multiplied, and we're gonna have this 590. Then the maximum load. We have to calculate if the weight of the cargo is not superior to the maximum that the container is able to hold. In this case, the merchandise has a total weight of 32,500 kilograms. And in order to know if the container can stand all those sacks, we're going to do an easy division. 12,000 kilograms between 25 kilograms, which is the weight of each sack. And we're gonna have 480 sacks, which is the maximum that the container can stand. Then in variable position cubing, the objective of variable position cubing is to see if another way of placing the merchandise results more effective and can allow transporting more merchandise within the same space. We're gonna do a table as well, and in the first table we have to put all the possible combinations of the merchandise and try to avoid repeating their accommodation. Then each measure, as in the past exercise, must be divided into the respective measure of the product and then rounded downwards, as in the past one. And these three numbers, for example, in the first one, 13, 2, and 25, are going to be multiplied. And in the yellow squares, you can see that each of the different accommodations are going to give different results. And they're bigger than the past one. Then the required containers. The total calculated is 1,300 sacks divided into 480. That is the amount of sacks that can be placed in each container. And we're going to have 2.7 containers. We're going to round it upwards, and we have that we need 3 containers. 2 of them are going to be filled with 480 sacks, and 1 of them is going to be filled with 340 sacks.
Transportation. It is important for us to know and to define the transportations that are going to be used in order for us to take the product to the Netherlands territory. First of all, the product is going to be transported from Durango to the port of Veracruz by land in a container, and from the port of Veracruz to the port of Rotterdam in Netherlands, on top of the ship and inside the same container that it was moved on the first place. It is important to know that all merchandise need to come with certificates that can allow them to be manipulated inside the national territory and once it goes outside the national territory. Some of the examples is the quality certificate and sanitary certificates. So as we already mentioned, the national land transportation, the merchandise will be transported by land from Durango to the port of Veracruz. It is important to count with the national consignment note and the merchandise certificates we already mentioned.
Well, moving along, we have the operation of efficient freight route. Efficiency is quite important when it comes to transportation. due to all the costs involved. For instance, we must pay salaries, gas, tolls, maintenance, etc. Another important issue is that the quality of highways in Mexico. In case a road is being repaired, a different way must be taken. In this case, as you can see, we're heading from Durango to Veracruz. So the official road that we're taking is the blue one. In case that it's damaged or is under maintenance, we can take the gray one, but not the fly one, because that's the most expensive. So the last option is flying the material. Why? Because it's so expensive and it's not that viable for us. Then when it comes to cost, it's important. That's why the operation of efficient cost. We gotta do it right. For example, here we have the quotes from different transportation companies. Due to all the sacks that we are delivering, we must hire two big trucks, as you can see in the bottom left, 4 small trucks, as you can see in the bottom right, or 1 double truck, as you can see in the top right. So the most cheapest or viable for us, in order for us not to spend a lot of money, is the $3,000 double load. Why? Because only with 1 truck we can take all our merchandise from point A to point B. Then the operation of efficient freight booking. Well, right now with COVID situation, all the logistics company has been overbooked. So the port, we gotta book our appointment at least with months in advance, at least. That's gonna save us a lot of time and a lot of money.
So based on la Secretaría de Comunicaciones y Transportes, the consignment note needs to count with the following information. First, we have the company name or name of the motor carrier and the dispatcher and their address, the name and address of the recipient, the designation of the merchandise with the expression of its generic quality, weight, and marks of external signs of the packages, the price of transport and any other charges derived from it, the date on which the expedition is made, place of receipt of the merchandise by the motor carrier, and finally, the place and date on term in which the delivery will be made to the recipient. Here, as you can see, we have an example where, as you can see, almost all of the information is filled by the secretarias that are part of this cognition note. Then we have the transportation. Since we already know that the negotiation is done under the Incoterm FAS, free alongside ship, the company, as seller, had the responsibility to only hire the inland transportation inside the national territory. It is the company's obligation to turn in the following documents in order for the buyer to handle the merchandise on the international sea freight, which is the one that is going to be charged by them. The commercial invoice, the packaging list, the origin certificate, and fumigation certificates.
Well, now I'm going to talk about the payment methods. There are different payment methods and each one has a different level of security. As we learned, the payment method is chosen depending on the type of the sale, the amount of the product, and the reliability of the customer. So I'm going to mention the types of payment methods that exist to clarify this. First, we have the bank spin. This method is low security and it is only performed by authorized establishments. Next, we have the payment order. It is medium security and this type of transaction is carried out interbankly. Then we have the international interbank collection. As the payment order, it is considered as medium security, and this service refers when the bank follows the seller's instructions And there are two types that are the simple collection and the documentary collection. Next, we have the letter of credit. It is a high security payment method because this provides greater security for the exporter and for the buyer. And in this case, like it's an export, the letter of credit will be chosen for greater security. So the payment for the company's merchandise will be safe, and the company ensures that the buyer will receive the agreed goods. Next, we have the origin certificates. In accordance with the provisions of Annex 4B, where the tariff item Lacto whey power is originated of the TEMEC. So as this commercial transaction is going to be between two countries that are Mexico and the Netherlands, and these countries have a free trade agreement together, which is the Mexico-European. So thanks to this tariff, we receive a preferential payment for our product with the tariff classification 0404-1099 that has a category 5 in the tariff elimination of the schedule, and in which after all the years since the tariff was signed, now this product is relieved from any importation taxes. And that's it.
And finally, as a conclusion, in agreement with my teammates, we believe that the alternative of the courses as the creation of the new integrated project online was very satisfactory and enriching knowledge. Otherwise, talking about the integrated project in general, exporting is currently an attractive means for companies to achieve higher efficiency in their production and also in its profit margin, in addition to helping to provide to the country with the necessary foreign exchange to meet its external commitments.